What's good, folks? Another day, another video. And as usual, I've been thinking again. And I know that I really shouldn't, but I just can't help it. Forgive me if my voice sounds a little bit different, and if I sound sick, it's because I am. Been having coughing fits all morning, and I have a splitting headache, but I'm deciding to power through it because I had something to say. It's that time of year again where invaders feel the need to encroach upon yet another space. Of course, Souls games were brought up again, attached to the accessibility argument. But I want to go ahead and reframe that right now. It's much bigger than Souls games, and they're using Souls games as a distraction. This can be said for literally any medium. Some shit just isn't for you. But for some reason, these people get a kick out of coming where they're not wanted and demanding change. George Bernard Shaw once said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress is contingent on the unreasonable man." This quote is often used as a positive force and message for societal change, or change in general. But I don't think Shaw had foreseen the flaw in his reasoning when bad actors started to adopt it. You see, in gaming, the demand for accessibility and easier modes in all games is an example of that flawed reasoning in action. Because change is not inherently good, and not all change is progress. As a matter of fact, a lot of it is actually regression. I also want to point out that the slippery slope was never a fallacy. Ever, because it deals in possibilities, and to suggest that it is a fallacy would suggest that no individual choice has a logical trajectory, when in reality the direct opposite is true. It can't be a slippery slope anymore when history shows us exactly what happens whenever we see things like this. It's already happened. It's been shown that this mindset erodes culture, erodes meritocracy, erodes challenge, erodes cultural appeal of any kind. And obviously this argument doesn't really apply to people who are already immersed in a culture. It applies to newcomers. A reasonable newcomer adapts themselves to the culture. They respect its history, they respect the core audience and the original fans, and they engage with the culture and medium as it was intended. The unreasonable newcomer, people have taken to calling them tourists, and I don't even think that's accurate, because at least tourists go the fuck home. These people are squatters. Squatters show up to a space and refuse to adapt, completely betray the entire appeal or point of the culture, and demand that it be changed to fit their personal tastes and preferences. Now, I would disagree, but a lot of the more gullible people would say this is harmless initially and claim that it is about more options. Well, that has never been the case. There are already plenty of options. That's the entire point of a medium. For every genre, there is a subgenre, or a completely new genre entirely. If one brand of literature, game, movie, etc. does not appeal to you, you can go try something else. But these people prefer to hone in on a specific subculture and try to beat them into submission in the name of ideological control. And it never stops at just one change. History bears this out. Because if you've been paying attention, the result we get when we listen to the loud minority is the homogenization of a culture. Nothing gets to be different, because when things are different, they appeal to different people, which means that someone is going to be left out, even if it's just by personal preference. They try to make it into something that everyone can like, which is impossible. And that's why everything turns into a formless gray blob that only parrots the mindset that these certain types of people are proponents of. And by continually adapting to the demands of these people, everything moves toward the lowest common denominator. Entertainment mediums where the intended experience and the original appeal are an afterthought. Not every hobby or entertainment medium should be for everyone. That is a feature, not a bug. Exclusion is not a flaw. You are not entitled to liking something, because the entire experience becomes about you. And I've had my fair share of criticism toward gatekeepers. I would argue there's a difference between being a gatekeeper and just being an asshole, but I digress. I think we owe them an apology, because they were right the entire time. The phrase gatekeeping has become somewhat of a dirty word in modern cultural discourse, and it was a mistake, because it's just another word for maintaining standards. Chess has rules, martial arts has rules, sports have rules. And in none of those places can someone walk in and demand that the fundamentals of those cultures be changed to suit them. They would never be taken seriously. Yet, in art and entertainment, this is exactly what happens. People refuse to engage with a medium in the way it was intended, and the people who do engage as intended are alienated. And it's always people who don't even like the medium they're invading. What I can't get my head around is why the entertainment sphere is the only place where the erosion of standards is acceptable. All change is seen as good, everyone wants to make concessions, and the originals, OGs if you will, are told to get over it and go play the old thing, go read the old thing, go watch the old thing. These types resent the idea that a culture has its own identity and expectations, and they hate your identity because they don't have one themselves. Elitism is not a problem. Get with it, get good, or get fucking lost. Let's take a look at a list of entertainment mediums that have been successfully subverted. Tabletop RPG, trading card game, video games, movies, TV, literature. That seems like everything to me. And I'm including graphic novels in that too. And even in some sense, anime and manga. Because localization, big fat ass quotes around that, has become an epidemic. Stop letting people destroy what made a space valuable in the first place. I suppose in the meantime, I'll keep on the lookout for independent works in the entertainment space for each medium. Because the culture is sick right now. But unlike me, there seem to be no signs of it getting better. But I've gone on long enough. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the links in the description to keep your fingers on the pulse of Cosmogoth. This has been your gracious host, Kaine Walker. I'm signing off, and I will see you all again next time. Peace.